Hey, it's Lynnie Wennerstrom, common sense health expert, unconventional health coach, and entrepreneur, and all that fun stuff, and a spiritual guide. And today is day 7, and I actually finished day 7 without eating because I was going to break my fast. Like I was telling you, all I could think about was food, like watermelon and stuff like that. And my daughter and I telling each other, oh, wouldn't that sound good, like that cookie thing that I told you about, and then like she broke her fast this morning, and she's already made chia. She's not. It'll be for tomorrow morning. So she just had some vegetable broth, and I think she said 7 raspberries and 7 grapes. Anyway, and then tea. So she's moving gently. She's bringing her body back into digestion. But that made me laugh. 7 raspberries and a cup of broth, and she was full. She did really well. She lost quite a bit. So I'm just going to go over really quickly my metrics so you can see where I was. And I really quickly went and pricked my fingers so I could see where I'm at on ketones. I did that this morning, but it changes throughout the day. And I just kind of like to see day and night, like where I'm at. So I just got a thing on my eye. Okay, so I started out at 141.8 pounds. I was gonna say pounds. And I am usually about 135, and I go to 137. I'm 5'7", so that's a comfortable weight for me. 141.8, almost 142, is a little bit too much. And I can attribute that to all kinds of things, but it doesn't really matter. That's where I was, and my body fat was 28%. So glucose was 103, which is, what they called normal is 100, and then you go down from there. And I guess it was the chips, all the organic chips I had been eating. I love. Is it July 7 or whatever? Their sour cream chips. Oh my gosh. So this is day 7 of my water fast. Okay. So anyway, my ketones were 0.01, which meant, was I in ketosis? Barely. It wasn't even measuring. So day 2, I was 138 pounds. So I went from 141.8 to 138. So that was a significant drop, which, for women, it's like 2 to 3 pounds a day. And for men, it's like 3 to 5. Men can lose more. Or if you're really overweight, or you're carrying a lot of extra weight, then that could happen, man or woman. So that's my understanding, and that's what I have seen from other people who have fasted. So I was 138 and 29.5 body fat. So I always think it's interesting because my body fat goes up and my weight goes down. But that's fine because, that's fine. Ketones, 1.0, and the glucose was 100. So I went down on my sugar. So then day 3 was I weighed, what did I weigh? Oh my gosh, did I not weigh myself? Oh yeah, so 135.2. So again, we're going from 141.8 to now 135.2. So that's quite a bit. My body fat was 31.5. It's going up. My ketones were 4, and that's the highest. So 0.94. You do this combination of your glucose plus your ketones, and then you get. So my glucose was 68. So I was in the highest ketone burning creating ketones that you, not that you can be in, but I was in the highest category. And then on the 4th day, I was 134 pounds, 0.2, and you can see where it's getting lesser and lesser because I didn't have a whole lot to lose. And it's not about losing weight. I mean, some people will do this to lose weight, but that's not the point. For me, it's not the point. The reason I fast is usually spiritual, or it's because I need to cleanse, like it's spring cleaning in summer. I didn't do my spring cleaning. So anyway, back to 134.2 and body fat 29. So now I'm going back down in body fat. And then ketones were 3.3, glucose 61. And basically what that means is I'm still in the highest category of burning ketones. So it doesn't change from there. So I don't need to give you those numbers. But the glucose was 61. So you can see how it's going down, 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 like there's no sugar. You're burning fat for fuel. And so I started at 103. Day 2, I was 100. Then I went to 68. And now I'm talking about 61. So that's when you start really doing good. And for what you're trying to achieve, because you want to go into autophagy, when you're in ketosis, you have autophagy happening, which is we're going in and eating like Pac-Man, doink, 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 eating up all the things that don't serve you. And so it can heal and do what it needs to do. You're creating stem cells. Those can go wherever the body deems it necessary. Your intelligent, beautimous body, which knows better than any doctor or anything else what to do to help you. You give it the tools and it makes it happen. So then the 5th day, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I went down to 132 pounds and 29 body fat. And I was highest ketones. So totally in ketosis, so I don't need to keep repeating that. And then I'll just give you the 2 more days because yesterday was day 6. And so I was 129.6 pounds and 30% body fat, which is interesting. It always makes me laugh. So I didn't sleep that well that night. I wrote here but I felt really good in the morning. And one thing that happened, and I told you, I think with the EE systems, it just really healed my lips. My lips were so bad. I couldn't even smile for weeks and weeks because every time I did or yawned or went, or anything, your lips are just like, you're stretching them all the time. And it just cracked. It just cracked. And it would make a sore and a cut and it wouldn't heal until I went into that EE system, and it healed that night, at least to put a blister over it. And then the next morning I was like 95% healed. So now I'm like 100% healed, which is amazing. I'm still putting stuff on just because there's still just a few little places that I just want to make sure. I guess I shouldn't say I'm 100. I'm 99.9% healed. So I'm loving it. And then today, day 7, at 4:40 this morning, so early this morning, I weighed 129.6, the same as yesterday, and 29% body fat, and still the top. But my glucose was 53, and it was beeping at me, beep, beep, and it had an apple next to it showing me, eat an apple, get some sugar into your body. And obviously it doesn't understand what my intentions are, does it? So, and it's funny, well, anyway, I'm not a big Western medicine fan, in case you haven't noticed that. I'm very much into unconventional health, and that the body takes care of itself. It's super intelligent, and all you need to do is give it the right tools. And we were not taught, most of us were not taught that. These are the things that I teach, in LynnieMotivates.com. It's what I've been teaching for a lot of years, but it's my new site is going to have a lot of this stuff. But anyway, it's not about not going to the doctor. It's about not giving away your power and understanding who and what you really are, which is a light being. You are energy, and you are limitless. But yet you probably didn't want to listen to all this, so I'll just share. You're limitless, and you have the power to heal, and your body has the innate power to heal. So when you give it what it needs, like a fast, like an EE system, like a biomodulator, which puts voltage into your cells, it doesn't really matter. That's just another tool that we have. And all this stuff just helps you to be healthy. But it's your environment, right? Epigenetics. So also what you eat, who you surround yourself with, like the beauty, like what you're seeing behind me. So the garden, the flowers, growing your own food, which I have herbs and not a lot of food. I have onions and I think that's about it. It's because we're building a home, and so we're not always here, and so to tend it. But anyway, but it truly is environment, and I think it has been said. Well, it has been said that it's 70% your environment and 30% your genes, which that's another thing out there. So, but truly, the odds by taking care of your environment, literally understanding it, putting good things into your body, and it doesn't mean you can't have your seventh. What do I do? July, end of July or July 7, or I don't know what it is. The July chips. It doesn't mean you can't have what you love, I mean, but you could choose better. Like, those are organic, and I think they're in sunflower oil, which is not good because that's omega-6s, and we get way too many of those. But still, you can enjoy what you enjoy. You don't have to be a stick in the mud, because I was a vegan. I was so strict and no sugar, and I was like doing, and telling everybody, my sisters, my daughter, my husband, and anybody, and not who would listen, but who I would impose my free will upon to tell them how they should be. What a fun person I was. Anyway, I totally switched that around. It doesn't work. People don't want you to tell them what to do or be, or how to, any of that stuff. They are a light being, and they are a soul here on their own journey. They chose the journey just as I chose mine, and so who am I to tell them that they're wrong? I'm not. I'm not going to tell anybody that they're wrong, because it's all very individual. We are all individual expressions of the one energy, my belief, and therefore, so how do I know better than they do? I don't. I have common sense. I know about, things that are good for me, and so I try and share that. If people are open, wonderful. If not, it's their journey. I'm not going to judge it. Not anymore. I did forever and ever. So anyway, so tonight I took mine. That was what I just shared with you, the 129 6 pounds and the 29% body fat. That's today. That was at 4:40 this morning. And then the 56 glucose. So I just did, and this one kind of made me laugh, but I just did it tonight before, just to show you, because times of day, hormones and blood pH and everything changes with your mood, your thoughts, your everything, time of day. I think I just said that. But anyway, so I did it right before to show you, and I weighed 129. So wow, I lost 0.6 pounds and 26.5% body fat. So I went down. Now I'm really getting skinny. But anyway, so my ketones were 7.1 and my glucose was 34. That's like amazing, the glucose at 34. In fact, the thing was really beeping at me. I don't know why this turned a dark color, so hopefully you can see me. So that's really what it is. And today I got out a YouTube ad for I'm an affiliate for a few things, and things that I believe in, things that work for me and that have really changed my life. And I got I wrote the script and then recorded the ad, and I sounded like Minnie Mouse going super fast, or Speedy Gonzales or something. But so I got to rewrite it tomorrow and just take a few more things out, even though I took out, like, I don't know how many things, but just to make it a little more concise and stuff. But so that's where I am, and I want to thank you for joining me on this ride. I don't think that I'm going to I probably will, I don't know, 7 days. I like to do things in sevens. 7 is heavenly. 7 is lucky. No, but 7's just because that's a full week. And so I can just get through to from start one week and then finish on the other. And 6 is kind of like an odd, although 3, 6, and 9, Nikola Tesla, that's every number, that's infinity, that's everything. So, but anyway, for me, 7 is a good one just because that's our man-made weeks, and so it's easier for me to follow that. So that has been my journey. Today I have felt, like yesterday I felt, I think I already told you about yesterday, so I won't bother you with that. But today I had a lot of energy in the morning, and I got a lot done towards my business and what I'm working on. So I was like, you go, girly. It took me a while to do it, but it was a lot of stuff. It's not like I was tired and then I couldn't do it. No, it's just because there was a lot, and I had to learn some things. I was trying to figure out, I use Camtasia to edit my videos and put music, and I use Canva to make pretty things to put on my videos, the starting and the end. And then I've got to make if you're online, you know what I'm talking about. If you're not, just disregard. Anyway, but so I did that, and it's and it's wonderful. So to put things on the beginning, like an intro and an outro. And so if you see my podcast, I've got an intro and an outro, like you basically, you don't care. Sorry. Anyway, okay, so that's where I'm at. And the watermelon, like yesterday, oh my God, that's, as I told you, that was all I could think about. But today I'm good. Today I've been really good. And I think it's because it's like, why not continue the journey, at least for another day? And my tongue is really, it might be dark. That might be something. Maybe it's just dark. My tongue is so furry still. You know what furry means? It just means it's all coated and everything. And what happens is, like, the tip of your tongue, you can start seeing where the toxins are moving, because your tongue just gets like this bright red, and if you stick it out at somebody, it's like going dee 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 dee. It's just moving. It's so vital, not shaking, but just moving, and just vital. And I'm not there. So I don't know if I'll get there or not. I'll make that decision tomorrow in the morning. So that's it, or maybe even tonight. It's kind of already late, but so I love you very, very mucho. I am always shining my light to brighten yours. I love doing that. It makes me so, so happy. You are my legacy if you are here for the first time and watching me. Anybody that I can leave anything that is of value with, because when I transition to my higher energy, I want to leave that, what I have learned here, that may be of benefit to you. So that's a very important part of who I am. And so, and I'm driven by that. So therefore, that's it. I love you so, so very mucho. And I will chat with you. Well, if I continue, I might just chat with you very quickly tomorrow. And, oh, you know what I forgot to do is days, was it 3, 4, and 5? I didn't do that. But I guess I kind of wrapped it up with where we were with this in here. So days 3, 4, and 5, I gave you the stats, so you'd know kind of where that was, and like how tired I was on 3. I got that headache. I told you about that. So anyway, so I guess we're good on that. I wanted to make sure I did get that in, and I was forgetting that I got it with the stats. So have a fantabulous morning, evening, afternoon, high noon tea, wherever you are in the world. Thank you for checking out my video, and I love you so incredibly mucho. Have a fantabulous whatever you have. Enjoy it. Love you mucho. Ciao.